Hi, everyone. I'm Shimon Shkuri, president of Ariel Property Advisors. And today I have with me my colleagues, Sean Kelly, Stephen Vovalakis, and Jonathan Berman, all of which are focusing specifically in Brooklyn. And this is taking inventory with some of our team members in Brooklyn who closed deals recently. Guys, how are you feeling?
Very good, Shimon. Thank you.
Well, thanks.
Excellent, excellent. We're going to start with talking about the development market in Brooklyn. It's actually alive and kicking. Sean, we recently closed a bunch of things. We have something in contract. What are you seeing out there? Maybe talk specifically about a few deals that we just closed.
Sure. So something that we're seeing in the development market is really a flight to quality. We recently closed two transactions. One was a $13+ million transaction in sort of prime north side Williamsburg, not far from the water. It's actually 102, 106 North First Street. And that was purchased by a local developer who had experience in the market, was really targeting the higher end of the condominium market, and was taking a step up from some smaller projects. What was interesting about that is that was one of the first transactions that I've worked on that the seller was truly motivated from the risk and the change of the the anticipated change in the tax legislation. Another interesting deal was 175 Clinton, small building, but also prime location in Brooklyn Heights. This was like a 5-unit building, had really good bones, and we expect that a purchaser there who's a local investor who builds both condominium and rental product in that market will convert that to condominium units. And then lastly, an area that has, two ethnicities in it, both the Chinese population and more of a Latin American population, is the Sunset Park market. We're in contract to close a 40,000-foot project, and that should close later this year. So the development market is still alive, kicking, and there's demand from all sectors of the market.
Thank you for that. And I know Sunset Park is an area that Stephen is really familiar with. In addition, Stephen just did a few deals that are catered to a specific group of people. So it's not just development in Brooklyn, but what else, Stephen?
Sure. So we also just closed at 613 Baltic Street, which is in Park Slope technically, but it's about a 1,900 square foot commercial condo right on the corner of Baltic and 4th Avenue. It's the ground floor unit of a recently constructed residential condo building built by JDS Development. And JDS is actually a repeat client of ours. We've sold a number of commercial condos for them in the past. We're actually in contract with them on another deal in Park Slope that should be closing later this year as well. And we actually sold the commercial condo in the same building in 2019 to an eye doctor. So our aim with marketing this current deal was to find a similar type of user, a medical user, because the majority of users right now that are purchasing property like this are doctors and medical users. So unsurprisingly, marketing vacant retail in the heart of the COVID-19 pandemic was more challenging than normal. So we really had to utilize our marketing process and cast as wide a net as possible during the time that this was on the market. So that includes reaching out to other brokers who are willing to co-broke, which is something we do on all of our deals. And we ended up finding a broker who had a dentist that was looking for a new office. And this really fit the bill for that user. There was good visibility and frontage right on the corner, and it ended up being a perfect fit.
That's great. So a part of a package of retail condominiums, that's just one of them that just closed. Users, medical users are out there. And I think if we talk about users, and Jonathan, you've seen an uptick in these as well, and you've had a few closings recently that talk to the user profile, not necessarily medical, but the user profile in your closings, right?
Yes. We recently closed two properties, 343 Tompkins, as well as 468 Albany Avenue. In 343 Tompkins, it was a store with 2 apartments above, roughly about 3,000 square feet. And it went for roughly a little above market, about $450 a foot, $460 a foot. And it was a tough transaction during COVID, but as COVID loosened up and people started to see light at the end of the tunnel, we were able to find a buyer, an owner user, who was going to use the property and benefit from the location. 468 Albany is very similar. It went into contract literally in the midst of COVID, and it took a while to close, but they went hard and they closed it, and it'll turn into a nice cafe. And the opportunity was really a COVID opportunity, because I'm not sure it would have come to market if it wasn't for COVID.
That's great. So Brooklyn is 11 kicking on developments, on user properties, and in many other fronts. We chose to focus on two aspects of it. This is taking inventory with the Brooklyn team. Thank you, everybody.